me to get your vote.
Yeah. When I learned that Enda Sugri was going to run again, I thought this is a seat to watch because Broxtowe actually voted predominantly to leave.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And Brexit Party was going to put up a candidate, so I was watching with interest. But then I discovered that the Brexit Party candidate was going to withdraw for family reasons.
Right.
Well, then there was a further development. When they put Tory candidate Darren Henry in, they said he was going to be pro-Brexit, pro-Boris. It turned out that Darren Henry actually voted Remain at the referendum.
Right,
so I thought, hang on a second, this isn't right, because this is a constituency that voted Leave, and Boris wants to champion the people by voting out of the EU, yet there's a Remainer, and Boris's deal isn't pure Brexit.
Right.
So I thought, hang on a second, there is an opportunity for somebody to represent the Leavers of Broxtowe.
Okay. So my view is what I see is I thought the Tories were going to bring Brexit. Is that
Well, if you
what
look
you're
at
just
Boris's
saying?
latest deal, it's what the public know well and truly as a warmed-up Theresa May deal.
Right.
You've only taken the Irish backstop out. We are going to have a transition period where supervising, overseeing the regulations on leave is the European Court of Justice.
Right.
And they can rule on anything in their favour. I don't trust that. We also are told that the negotiation on the fisheries will be on a level playing field basis. Hang on a second, those waters are our waters.
Correct, I agree with you with that.
Our fishing fleet has been decimated by EU regulations. We cannot tolerate that.
Well,
we want to be out.
I'm glad you've said that because I buy fish from a guy in a van that comes from Grimsby.
Yeah.
And he's only just told me a few weeks ago that it could be out of business through the fishery because if we stay in the EU, this fish stock's getting less and less what he's buying.
That's very true and very sad. That's
and
very sad.
Because,
we cannot allow that.
He's been
If our
coming here for
politicians
close
have
to 20
any
years,
responsibility and do sincerely care for our people, they would go for a clean break, a proper Brexit, not a half in, half out.
Well, can you then explain to me, right, I'm a Brexit, I believe in Brexit, we voted to leave, we should leave.
Yep.
I don't believe in this second vote thing, that's against my decision.
It is not democratic.
No.
We voted and that's it.
Right.
They should respect
So
it.
why has Farage then pulled away from standing Brexit in the Broxtowe area then?
I think, this is my reading of it, I suspect Farage wanted the public to know that he's not against Brexit. And when he thought that Boris Johnson had a reasonable deal for Brexit, he supported it. And he supported it to such an extent he withdrew a swathe of candidates from seats that Brexit Party should be fighting.
Right.
Now, I'm disappointed because if you look at the Boris deal, it isn't truly Brexit. And there are so many questions unanswered.
I agree with you.
Really,
It's what I
feel very
see,
uncomfortable with the Brexit deal that
Right.
Boris proposes.
I think it's a hidden deal what I see and what I see on TV and that, and what I see is from my class of what I do, is that it's not true, there's something not right, and I just feel we're going to be fobbed off again. And this, to me, we voted to leave, we should leave, and I'm just fed up with it. And this is why I'm talking to you today as an independent.
But I'm glad, I hope I have your vote.
And I'm glad I've just mentioned independent, because is it true there is only 2 Brexit independent people standing, and you're one of them?
Yes, one is George Galloway, and I'm the other one.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. And that's
George
good.
Galloway is in West Bromwich, and I'm here in Broxtowe,
Okay.
because there's a huge number of people here in Broxtowe who lack a champion for
Yeah.
leave.
So can
And it's
you...
only common sense.
Yeah.
You know, we're a nation facing the world. Why should we be constrained by the EU, who tell us what we can do and what we can't do?
Well, I think one of them, what you're saying there is, I've got certain facts that stick in my mind. It's immigration, the NHS, the fishery is one of the biggest. Unemployment's changing up and down. My young son, who has got a learning disorder, he struggled, and he struggled through the job centre, getting help and support, and this is in the Broxtowe area. And,
Well, I'm delighted. I'm delighted to be able to be given this opportunity to help the people of Broxtowe, your family, your son. When I was on the CCG board, one of the things I led on was safeguarding children. I looked after family, young people and children's services. I also looked after child and adolescent mental health services. So those are very close to my heart, and I'll do anything and everything I can to help this entire group of people.
So,
sorry,
what I'd like to say where you're saying that is help people is, what are you going to do for this country differently to what the Tories or the Labour?
Well, the trouble with the NHS is grown very large, and the politicians up to today think the way to answer the problems is to put more money in. Well, the money isn't isn't efficiently spent. What we need to do is to look at how things are being run. Now, I happen to locum in a practice where the morning surgeries are free access. Now, how many people tell me on the streets that they have to wait weeks, they have to queue up, they have to phone up, and they don't get an appointment for 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah. Now, how can that be? Now, if you're sincere about meeting people's needs, lowering cancer rates, you've got to have access to a senior decision maker in the practice, not to see a practice nurse as the first point of contact, not to see somebody 2 weeks down the line when things have grown a bit worse. You want to see somebody fairly quickly. I think there are a lot of policies that are not right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree where you're coming from, but one of my main points that I would like to say to you is, what can you bring to Broxtowe differently from the person we've got in Anasubri? And what can you give me? Because me personally, Broxtowe comes first. This is my area, and for you to win my vote, I want to make sure I'm doing the right vote by what are you going to do for me in Broxtowe if I need support or help, or the high street, charity shops, every 2 shops down, pubs are closing around here, local housing association, it's all private, and I'll be honest, I live in a private flat. I've asked, and I'll give you a direct question here, and I've still got no response from Anasubri back, and this was a couple of years ago, is a very good question. I want you to see if you can answer this to me. My son lives with me, he was in the Royal Navy.
Yes.
Okay. I'm on the waiting list for a council property, only a 1-bedroom I'm entitled to, but I said to them is that basically when my son who lives with me is in the Royal Navy now, but why can't I apply for a 2-bedroom? You're not qualified because your son doesn't live with you. I says he does live with me when he's at home on leave, it's just like he's working away. They says that is not good enough, and I'm only allowed to apply for 1-bedroom. So if I go on the council list, get a council 1-bedroom flat or apartment, right, where's my son going to go then when he comes home on leave? Nowhere.
That's very sad.
And they still haven't come back, and that's from the council and Anasubri, and that's been boiling me up for a few years now, and I've still had no response. As an independent, I think you could support and look at that differently.
That's exactly why I think there are the benefits and advantages of being independent. I don't have a political party dogma to follow.
Correct.
I'm here directly accountable to people like you.
Yes, yeah.
And I think there are too many bureaucratic rules that actually constrain people's ability to do the things they want, to help the country's economy, to give back to the country what they can do.
But what I'm doing at the moment, I'm paying a private landlord so much money is where I'd rather pay the council for a 2-bedroom. I live in a 2-bedroom flat, there's not a problem because it's private, but as soon as I want a council 2-bedroom, I can't because I'm classed as living on my own because my son's in the armed forces. So he's fighting for his country, but I can't have him to come and live with me. It's just wrong.
That's a real shame. It's a real shame.
I just want my...
I will take your case up. Seriously, we'll take your case up.
My final thing is that is what you've just answered to me is, what would you give to me and support me in Broxtowe? And that's what I want, because I'm getting no response from the last MP or anything like that over the years, and I've lived over here I've lived here all my life, and I've just seen this area gradually changing, and it's more private people coming in. The renting market around here is ridiculous. I find it's so expensive, and I just feel for certain areas of Broxtowe that is just treated like nothing. They're not.
It's very sad. It's very sad, John, that the average working person is being neglected. A lot of rules and regulations are stacked against people like you. It's
Yeah.
not right at all.
Yeah,
I think it's about time we look
yeah.
at family values, support family values, and take people for what they are. If they have such crying need for emotional fulfillment, why don't we address them? Why do we leave them out in the cold? You know, I believe in charity starts at home. We've got to look after our own people first.
100% believe in that. Yeah, I do, and I see that all the time when I sit and watch TV. Every other adverts, charities abroad, charity donations. It comes home first, and we should start looking after our own. And I could take you into Beeston Town Centre. I know where some homeless people. One's an ex-veteran,
I know.
and he sleeps behind Tesco's, and I mean I see him quite regular, and I'll buy him food and things like that. And it's a shame, and that guy is trying to get somewhere to rebuild his life. And to me personally, people like that deserve a chance, but they're not they're treated like scum at times. And in Broxtowe, and especially in Beeston, we shouldn't be having that in Beeston Town Centre.
Absolutely.
Not at all. But thank you, and I appreciate it.
I'm delighted.
And
I'm
you
delighted.
will get my vote.
I'm so glad. Thank you very much,
You're
John.
welcome.
Thank you.